So you have started a wonderful organization that has a dynamic mission, and you have great plans for how you're going to impact your community through this organization. But you don't have any staff. As a matter of fact, you may not even be paid yet, and you may be volunteering yourself. How do you get this thing off the ground? How do you get it to a place where you can have a staff, have people working for the organization to be able to advance the mission, but also be able to do the work in the meantime? My name is Evan Marie with Making Room LLC, where we believe that gifts make room for us. And so we'll talk about the gift of time today and how it can impact the organization substantially. Asking is at the core of being in the nonprofit space. Even if fundraising feels uncomfortable, it's we still have to ask for help. We ask for volunteers, we ask for contributions, we ask for donations, we ask for feedback, we ask for time and space and all those kinds of things. A nonprofit designation allows you space to be able to leverage tax deductibility for those gifts, but they are always on the other side of an ask. You gotta ask. Ask and you will be given most of the time. So when we're looking at launching an organization and putting ourselves in place to be a financial organization later, but we need to get the work done now. Where do we start? So let's first talk about who's on our board. If we're a startup organization, when we're recruiting board members, let's make sure that we're recruiting folks who have the expectation of being your staff, your team, your squad from day one. It is amazing that you have people who care for you. If you're a founder who signed on the dotted line to say that they would support this idea that you have. However, we want to ask them before we invite them to this board whether they have capacity. How many hours a week do you think you're going to need? Are they your program people this right now? Are they your fundraisers? Are they the people who are setting up your website or gathering your data? If so, let's talk to them about that ahead of time. If you didn't, and your board members either are not equipped or don't have capacity, this is your first line of defense to recruit people to your board with clear expectations. You may seek out board members in your personal network, but sometimes you want to have a wish list of the skills and things that you need someone to help you with. If you're not a budgeting or a finance person, and you don't have those resources on your board, you're looking for a finance or accounting person to be on your board. It may be uncomfortable because you may not know them personally, or maybe you do and you know them from a different space, but those are the people you want to ask. Board recruitment is easy when we just ask a group of people who we think might be cool to hang out with, and sometimes that's a good time. However, for us to accomplish the goals that we want to make sure that we have a wish list. Who's helping you with your financial policies? Who's really strong at programming? Who's program development? Who's really strong when it comes to program execution? Who can help you with evaluation? Who can help you with leadership? Create a list of things that you know that you're going to need over the next 24 months. 18 to 24 months when you first started, and people who can lock arms with you to get you to those goals, so that you're not relying on staffing for it to happen. Make a plan and stick to it. Data. I can't speak enough about it. Sometimes we think about gathering data. First of all, it can be kind of scary to gather data about what it is that we're doing, and depending on the kind of organization that you have, it may be hard to think about what I should be gathering or what information I need to gather. But when you're doing programming, whether it's a volunteer programming where it's a 1 hour, one touch something, if you're in an education capacity, you've done a workshop for a school voluntarily, you still want to gather the data. Who was in the room? If you are at a public school, you can use the data from the school to kind of get an idea of what the demographics might have been in that room. When it comes to the impact of the program, you want to ask what people knew before they came in about your topic or your mission and what they knew when they went out. This starts to create a narrative of data that can speak to the impact of your work, which will set you up later to be able to be fundable. So in this middle ground, while we're doing things, we're volunteering and doing things. We invited people to a activity or event. We're still tracking data from day one so that we have a compelling argument for funding later. There are so many nonprofit organizations that don't use the resources that are available to us. In the city of Chicago, for example, we have an amazing library system. If there's some place where you need to do a presentation, or sometimes depending on what kind of programming you have, you need free spaces, most depending on what the program is, the library is a resource for you. If you're running a writing program, a library is a great time for that. If it's a youth program, that's a great space for that. Also, if it's something that requires a little bit more technical resources, what are some organizations that are already in place that are doing that work that you can partner with? You don't have to pay for everything. And in fact, you shouldn't have to pay for everything when you're starting out, but you do have to get in front of people and ask. There are also a number of websites where there are folks who are looking for volunteer opportunities and for board service opportunities. Use those platforms to recruit people and invite them to lunches so that you can have a conversation about lunches, virtual chats, to have conversation about what it is that you are wanting to impact. Think about perhaps gathering a group of people who are in your personal network, maybe 1 or 2 degrees of separation, and have something in your home or have something on Zoom that just talks about the organization, what you want to impact, and what you see happening in the next 2 years. You'll be surprised to see who will be excited about locking arms with you so that you can advance to the next level. Thank you so much. I would love to dig into more ways that you can engage people and get the things that you need to get done accomplished in that first year before before you're funded. So reach out to me for a chat. Thanks.